Hello, this is the RPG Pundit, the final boss in Internet Shitlords, and look who's here, it's Meatball. This is a short video where I wanted to point out something that is just like the icing on the cake of the last video I made. So in my last video, if you haven't watched it yet, you should watch that one first. I was talking about LATAM Breakout, which is a Kickstarter that was supposedly made as a way to highlight the great Latino gamers, and is basically a load of bullshit. The people that are doing these games in this like package of indie games are not in any way representative of real Latinos. They do not, they're not really well known in Latin America in any special way, except for one of them that is known for being a massive SJW Twitter whiner, but nothing else. And they're not the most successful game designers in Latin America. I'm probably the most successful, if not one of the most successful RPG designers in Latin America. Maybe the guys that made Tormenta or Defensores de Tokyo, which is a game where you're fighting giant monsters in an anime type game. Those are the games Latinos like. They don't like stuff that is supposed to be like respectful of their culture or something like that. That's not what it's about. But anyways, the part that is the absolute kicker is that these guys, these Latinos, 3 Brazilians and 2 Argentinians that are the designers, are really just doing the grunt work. The people who are in charge of this Kickstarter are called Soul Muppet Publishing. Okay, and Soul Muppet Publishing is a publishing house based in the UK. And the people who are controlling Soul Muppet Publishing, and presumably will get the bulk of the profit from all this, are Zachary Cox and Matt Sanders, neither of which sound like very Latino names necessarily. But of course, my name doesn't sound very Latino, although I think if you Latinize if you say my name in Spanish, it sounds Latino, whereas Zachary doesn't sound Latino almost in any circumstance whatsoever. But we don't necessarily want to go by that, because there are a lot of there are Latinos named Wilson and Nelson, so there's all kinds of Latinos. But these guys admit openly that they are not Latinos in any way. And so They've basically made it very clear that they are not Latinos in any way, and yet they're the ones that are in charge of this, which is like the ultimate part of what I was saying in the last video, the SJW fantasy, right, of Latinos being this submissive, colonialized culture that they get to define. They get to define Latinos as being, light brown-skinned, Aztec-worshipping, Spanish-speaking, arepa-eating, sombrero-wearing communists that love the fact that they're, that on the Dia de los Muertos, their gay uncle has come out of the closet and introduces them to their dead ghost boyfriend. That's their idea of what Latinos are supposed to be, or Latines, as they're now calling it, since it's become clear that Latinx won't fly. Neither will Latin. Spanish and Portuguese are gendered languages, right? A chair is female, right? So if a chair is female, everything else is going to be like female or male, right? Like you can't, you can't do anything about that, right? And that is a part of the Latin culture. You're not going to change that, North American imperialist commies, But these guys decided that poor little Latino game designers couldn't make it on their own. And so they needed, these 2 British leftists, Labour voters, probably Corbynists, I'm guessing, to come along and herd all these poor idiot Latinos and make them make products that they would then profit from. So there you are. It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I just thought I had to add that to point it out to you that they are, this is literally imperialism at work, right? It is them engaging in imperialism in every way. So on top of everything, on top of how they're trying to define Latino out of any kind of sense of normalcy, and how they are trying to insist on, you know, slandering Latino culture, basically. They are beyond that, you know, and recruiting ultra-communist weirdo psychopaths, like people that they themselves say, I forget which one it is, that says, they said it somewhere in their description that they're fucked up, right? Another one is like, oh, I'm an avowed Marxist, you know, whatever. I want to kill capitalism, you know, stuff like that. None of which is Latino, you know, like that is a lie. If you believe that that's what Latinos are, that is a lie. But, you know, on top of that, they are just using these Latinos for their own glorification, you know. And so nothing could be more like, that's the chef's kiss of the irony and the hypocrisy of this project. And that's it for today. This is just more of a coda on my previous video, but I thought I'd point it out to you. Check out all my products. Remember, I am the most successful Latino game designer in the world. So if you really want to check out games made by real Latino game designers, buy my games, right? Like The Invisible College, Cults of Chaos, Star Adventure, all good stuff that a lot of gamers here in South America like. Just like they like, you know, D&D and Vampire and Call of Cthulhu and Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, GURPS. That's the stuff that Latinos like playing. Because Latinos actually believe in Western culture. So there you have it. Currently smoking. Well, I'm just about done a Lorenzetti egg. And say goodbye, Meatball. Meatball. Oh, she's sleepy.